up, everybody? It's Don Collins from Anion Sports, and this is Anion Sports episode 10 and a half. All right, I know there's probably some confusion out there about episode 10. So in episode 10, I did the Wonderlic test, which is a test that the NFL administers to its NFL draft prospects. Now, this test is designed to test your aptitude, your smarts, your IQ basically, and it is used in the workplace too. You may not have had to take one yet, but it's possible an employer could do that. So on average, an NFL player probably will score about a 20, a 22 in that area. That's about average intelligence, but the low is a 4 by Morris Claiborne, and he had a learning disability, so I don't really want to bag on him too much. So I'm going to go a step up and talk about Frank Gore, Hall of Fame running back, who scored a 6. Didn't seem to detriment his career too much, but I scored a 32, which is pretty much better than the average NFL player. I'm not saying I'm, quarterback smart. Ryan Fitzpatrick scored a 48, so I got a long way to go. But a 32 is a nice number. I'm comfortable with that. This year, Leonard Fournette scored an 11. So maybe I have a chance to be an NFL running back. All right, all jokes aside, though, that is why I did the Wonderlic test. It was to show what it was like and how hard it actually can be when you're on a time limit of 50 questions in 12 minutes. It's very stressful, actually. So going back, looking at that episode, maybe it'll make a little bit more sense. So I apologize if I didn't explain it that well. But big news from Anion. Got a podcast coming soon. I will debut it. Me and my buddy Louie, we will debut it in the coming weeks. Be on the lookout. It's called In the Zone. And we always in the zone. We always hot. So definitely got something new on the way. Always keeping everything moving forward. The only place to go is up. NBA playoff action on Friday. Couple games, 3 games to be exact. First, the Bulls got absolutely trounced by the Boston Celtics. The final score was 104-87. The Celtics, after a pregame message from Kevin Garnett and an emotional Isaiah Thomas, really looked like the number 1 seed for the first time in this series. They come out, they play their game, they hit 17 threes, and the Bulls just looked lost on offense. This was their first game without Rajon Rondo, who they lost to a broken thumb. So, this is probably what many people expected the series to look like from the jump. And credit the Bulls. They came out, they did their thing, but the Celtics are number 1 seed. My prediction is still Bulls in 6. I think they'll overcome the loss of Rondo, but it is telling that they only had 14 assists when Rondo will get you 14 by himself on a good night. So the Bulls, they have some things to work on. Jimmy Butler, you can't shoot 7 of 21, but the Celtics, I definitely expected them to make this a series, and I still got Bulls in 6. In the West, Russell Westbrook outdueled James Harden. Russ gets his second triple-double in as many games. James had 44 points, but the Thunder edged out the game in a 115-113 win. And it happens. Russ is a phenomenal talent, and obviously they've been successful 47 times in the regular season with him doing his thing. So hats off to them. They did a good job last night. But the biggest news coming out the Western Conference in a Clippers win, the Clippers won 111-106, but they did the most Clipper thing possible. Blake Griffin is out for the rest of the season with a big toe injury. Why can't they catch a break? Well, actually, they catch a lot of breaks. Chris Paul is probably hurt 1 year. DeAndre is hurt another year. And then you have Blake, now he's hurt. It's just they can never seem to put it all together at the same time. Now, the Jazz are without Rudy Gobert, another substantial injury. But you lose Blake Griffin, he's averaging 25 points per game. Where you going to make that up at? Is Maurice Spates going to make that up? No, Maurice Spates isn't going to make that up. So the Clippers, if they were going to possibly upset and go on and do some great things this year, I don't see how that could be possible without Blake Griffin. Now, if Rudy Gobert comes back, they're even worse off. Blake is just a huge hole that they can't replace. Again, Maurice Spates, you're not going to cut it. Not in this scenario. So that's all I have for y'all today. Glad y'all pay attention to the very special half episode in the series, 10 and a half. All right. I'll be back next week. Stay tuned. In the Zone is coming soon. In the Zone. We always in the zone. So be on the lookout for that. Hashtag be great. It's Don Collins, Anion Sports.